Okay, good morning, guys. It's Friday. It's called Freaky Friday today. It's because of the unemployment claim. So I do trade that, but I didn't like the way the candles took off this morning. So getting ready to close on this candle in the euro here, and I am trading in the targets, but I'm going in the same direction. So I'm going to wait for this to pull back on the euro yen and wait for this to come up here on the euro to get an entry at the start of the move, and the Swissy to come down here. So I don't know how far it's going to come back, but I'll be getting in here shortly as soon as I get my trading thing set up here. But anyway, I believe this is still going to go down from here. Just want to wait and be patient on a pullback. We are trading in the targets, but it's all lining up, and that's, in my opinion, the key to my trading. So I have to wait for things to pull back here. Not sure how far it's going to pull back. And again, I am trading into targets, but again, it's lining up, so that's why I'm taking this trade. I want this to pull back. Perfect entry is up in here. I don't know if it's going to get up there. We'll see. Timing is everything on these. If it doesn't time out, I don't take the trade. But I want the Swissy to come down to the bottom here. And it might not get there. We'll see what the other currencies are doing. See, it might stop at the top. There's really not that long a wicks on there, but I really don't want to enter here. I want this to come back a little bit because, like I said, we are trading in the targets. What I mean by that is we see the starts and moves down here. See where the guppy's at? That is a target where we have the start of a move. You have to be patient on entries, guys. That way, if you do get into a bad trade, you can always, not always, but most of the time, you can get out of a bad trade if you get a good entry. Now, again, this might not come back too much further. It's up to you if you want to get in this trade here, but it's definitely riskier. It's better if you get it at the start of the move. I don't know if this is going to go here, so you can always get in lighter here and then get in heavier if it comes back, or take more of a risk and get in twice. You're just risking twice as much, obviously, but this needs to break for this to be a good trade. It needs to continue going down here, and the Swissy obviously needs to break its top. So, see how far this thing goes. Should be up a few pips if you got in right there. It's just harder getting in right there, but you can see that everything was kind of timing out there. But it needs to break. Yeah, it might come up to the top. But it has to break here, guys. Okay, guys, this is kind of where you want to get in at as it comes up. See the Swissy coming down. This is a start of a move here, back in here, back in the channel here. Okay, back in the channel here. That's where you really want to get in. See if the euro yen comes up. It would be nice if these came up to here at the same time this came up to here, and the Swissy comes down to here. Then we know that we have a pretty good trade going on here. So anyway, it's always better to take the trade at the starts of moves. If you take it at the beginning of a move, you take the risk of being stopped out or not being in a good trade. And the guys, like I said, this has already hit a target. So it's a riskier trade to begin with, but we're hoping it breaks the target, of course. But like I said, this is where you enter at. This is where you enter at. But again, we're trading into targets. We'll see if this thing continues on here. But like I said, the more patient you are about getting in this trade, the better entry you'll get taking the trade. Where I was talking about earlier, you take the risk of being stopped out. So we'll see if this thing continues on. Again, the more patient you are with your entries, the better your trade's going to be. And just remember, guys, this has already hit targets, so it is a riskier trade. So on every currencies, if I move my lines up here, you can see where it hits this breakout. It has to come down and break these targets. In other words, come down and break through this breakout and come down to the start of the move for this to be a good trade. If that's its target, guys, like right here, that hasn't quite hit its target, but it could stop someplace weird, which, you know, it does time to time. We'll see. I do not like the way, you know, this, like I said, it has to be up at the top here. We'll see if this stops here, guys, but that's why you wait for the back of, or the start of the move. I don't like where the guppy's at unless this guppy stops at this start of the move here. The start of the move on this move here is way up here. So, well, like I said, we'll see if it stops. This, for this to be a good trade, it has to break through these targets. That's why you always want to wait for the back, especially when you have wicks, you wait for the back of the channel. When you get in here, you're taking a risk that it comes all the way back. So getting in here, we'll see if it holds and this becomes a good trade. See, guys, you know, you have to be careful when this comes down because this could be an up trade here. I mean, nothing's confirmed, but none of these could close down below their moves here. But that's why it's important to get in up here, or yeah, up here, because if this decides to be an up trade, you got a good entry and you can manage your way out of a trade. So, speaking of which, I have to be careful here. I have my finger on the button here so I can manage and get out of my trade here, or take some profit out when it comes down to the bottom here, because this could go up from here. I'm not saying it's going to, I'm just saying it could. But that's why you're patient on these trades, these entries. That way, again, you can manage yourself out of a bad trade if it turns out to be a bad trade. That's why I look at all charts, and I'm trying to be as patient as possible on these entries. Turning out to be a good trade here. But you have to be very careful here. You're taking a big risk by staying in this trade. It's not giving us a lot. You know, it's hard trading in the targets, guys, to have the confidence to stay in trades like this. So, you know, you trade at your own risk when you stay in. I'm hoping it breaks here, but you have to be very, very, like I said, you have to be very, very careful about staying in this trade. It has to break. You know, it looks like we have some momentum here, but it has to break here, guys. So the market's not giving us a real lot yet this morning, unless you like trading announcements. But with a good entry on that, you should have been able to pick up 8 to 10 pips. Which is my goal every day. 10 pips is my goal every day. See, guys, this is why I don't stay in trades when they've hit targets. This is the start of the move going down. This is the start of the move if this is going to go up. I don't know whether it's going to break here, guys. Like I said, it's already hit targets. So I don't know. All I know is if you got in here at 67, this went down to 52. Okay, so you could have easily picked up 10 pips here. Okay, let's just say you got 8 or whatever. But anyway, if you had $10 on that trade, you just made $80 or $100 on that trade. If you had $20 on that trade, you just made a couple $100. So I know there's a lot of people that like to go to work each day and work for a lot less than that in 8 hours. And guys, I don't get it. Like I said, and I know this might sound complicated, but I'm telling everyone where to get in and where to get out, and I don't know, pretty amazing to me. It's like push the sell button here, push stop here. Anyway, and I've been, every day I'm pretty much. I point out a trade pretty much almost every day. I'd say 4 out of 5 days a week there's a trade that I point out. So my goal, again, is always to make 10 pips. If I make more than that, great. Yesterday I pointed out a trade, and I don't know, I think I went for 30 or 40 pips, just whether you have the guts to stay in it or not. But you can always take partial amount of your trade out and leave some of it in. For some of you new people that are looking at this, it's you can take partial amount out and leave the rest in and let it run. But anyway, my room is free now, obviously, and down the road I'll probably obviously charge for it. But there's videos for beginners on my site, and anyway, it's all about looking at the currencies and waiting for them to line up. And sometimes I'll wait for an hour, and sometimes I'll wait for a couple hours for them to line up. But once they line up, it's a good trade almost every time. Another thing, guys, I'm one of the only people that I know that I'm paid to mess around on Facebook. Now I know there's other people at work that can get log into Facebook, but I'm sure your employer doesn't like it. But anyway, I'm going to make a post today, so you'll have to listen to this video to see what I'm saying here. But I don't know. I just think it's a great way to work once you know what you're doing, of course. Pretty nice trade here, guys. If you stayed in this, you could have gotten 25 pips so far. It did hit the start of that move on the euro-yen down at the bottom here, so just be careful about staying in this. It could go down further, of course, but you just have to be careful. Take some profit out. See how far this thing goes. Great trading day again. Guys, I'm going to call it quits. We have another announcement coming up in 5 minutes. It's Friday. I like to take off early. I've worked an hour and a half today, so I'm a little exhausted. Just kidding. No, but I'm going to take off today. So great trading day. Good way to end the week, and had a good trade every day this week. Anyway, have a good weekend, guys.